you're going to go to the menu button up here, and then now go over to your site settings. All right, now here's the thing. We could set global colors that can be used all across our website. To do that, click on global colors, and now this would be the default colors that you would have: blue, darkish gray, lightish gray, and then lime. So this would be for your primary headers, your secondary headers, your text. This would be your regular body text, and then accent is usually for like links or buttons. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change these to some colors I have over here. So in order to change them, I'm going to click inside, and for primary I'm going to go with white. Okay, so white is going to be FFF, 6 Fs is basically for white. That will be for my primary. And then for secondary, we're actually going to keep this as it is, but then for text we're going to go with black. Okay, black is going to be 6 zeros, so 1 2 3 4 5 6. These are what we call the hexadecimal values. Okay, so 6 zeros for black, 6 Fs for white. And then lastly, for the accent, which would be for the links, I do have my color in here. Let me just quickly grab the color from my other screen, come right here and paste that. So it's a shade of orange. It's basically a DCA 570. Now you could decide to add your own custom colors as well. You can come in here, click on add color, and you can name this one like anything. You give it like let's say the special color. Okay, I'll show you how this works a bit later, but let's just call this one special color. And in here I'm going to click on the box, and let's just choose something reddish. Okay, so I have my own custom color called special color. I'm going to go ahead now and simply update. Okay, so we've set our global colors which we can use throughout the site, but then we also have access to global fonts. Font families are very important. So check this out. I'm going to click on global fonts. The first one here is going to be primary. This will be for your primary headers. Now let me just take a look at my other screen in here, because I have chosen to go for the font family. I've chosen to go with Oswald. Oswald is a particular Google font that I like, so I'm going to choose Oswald for the font family. The weight here is going to be 700, so it's going to be a little bit heavier. And then I'm going to transform this to uppercase, and then I'll leave the other ones: line height, letter spacing, word spacing, and so on. Let's leave those as they are. Next is going to be the secondary, and then secondary again, I'm going to go with Oswald. Okay, Oswald for secondary. And then the size here, I'm actually going to go with 20 pixels, because it's going to be a little bit smaller. 20 pixels, and then the weight here would be 600. And there you go. That's for the secondary. And then text, this will be our regular text. I'm actually going to switch font families over here to Nurito Sans. Okay, so let's search for Nurito. Is it Nurito? Nunito, I'm sorry. Even with my glasses, I still can't see properly. Nunito Sans, that's going to be for text. And then the size here would be 18 pixels, and the weight is going to be 500. And that is that. Last but not least, we do have the accent. So accent is going to be Roboto. Let's stick with Roboto for that one. And then weight here will be 500, so we're not changing anything in here. I'm going to go ahead now and update. The point here is that we can actually use these font families, these font colors anywhere on our site. As an example, let me close this, okay, and let me go ahead now and add a heading. So I'm going to click drag, drop the heading element in here. Now take a look at this. If I was to go to style, all right here you can see we have the typography option to choose what kind of typography we want to work with, or the text color. Now take a look at this. If I click on this icon right here, this global looking icon, I click in there, can you now see we can choose from the 5 options: primary, secondary, text, accent, and even the special color that we added. That's how you can make use of the global colors that we've just set. Same goes with the typography. I click in here again, and now I can choose either to go with the primary text, secondary text, regular text, or the accent. That's how these would work. But let me show you something even more interesting. If I go back to the site settings, just underneath the design system, you have your theme style. And if I click on typography, in here, this is where we can now set specific font families, colors, sizes for our H1, our H2 tag, H3, and so on. But in order for us to be able to make use of this particular system, we're going to need to disable the default colors and fonts from the settings page. Okay, remember, let me just quickly go ahead, update this. I'll show you what I'm talking about. If we go back to the back end, let me come right here, go to exit to dashboard. If you go back to your Elementor settings, right here, we're going to have to disable the default colors and fonts in order to make use of this new theme style editor. So I'm going to check these two boxes, save those changes, and now let me close this. Let me refresh this page again. Okay, now take a look at this. If I go back in here, go to site settings, and I come down here to typography, now I am able to set a specific text color for the body, text size, for the links, H1s, and so on. Also, if I go back to the regular back end, and let me just close this, and I added my heading again in here. If I go to style, right here, if I go to text color, I still have access to the colors I've set earlier. And then also for the typography, I still have access to the secondary text. Basically the same options I said earlier, I still have access to them. So basically, let's just go back to the site settings one more time. I just want to show you that I still have access to those options. Let's go back to the theme style typography. Okay, I do have my options in here that I've already set. So what I'm going to do here is this. Okay, let's first of all choose the typography for our body. So right here for body, I'm going to go over here to text color. We're going to choose black. That'll be for the text. For the typography, I'm simply going to go with text. Okay, remember we set text to be null into sans, size of 18 pixels, and then the weight of 500. Okay, so that's going to be for the body. Good. Now for the link, let me just check what I have in here. For the link, I'm going to go with color, the accent color, and then typography, I'm going to go with accent as well. And now for the H1s, okay, this is going to be a little bit different. So for the H1s, what I've done right here is for the family, I've set that one to default, but the size here is going to be 100 pixels. Okay, very massive. And then the weight here is going to be 600. We're hardly going to use H1s on our site, so don't worry about the huge size. So I'm going to keep that one at 100. Now let's go over to the H2. And for H2, I do have the size here. So I'm going to click on typography. The size here, I've set it up to 32 pixels. So 32 pixels. And then I do have the weight here to be 700. Basically, this is the main header we're going to be working with. Actually, my apologies, I set it to 36. Sorry, 36 pixels for H2. Okay, and then for the H3, check this out. For the H3, the color here is going to be the accent color, the orange color. And then the size here is going to be 22 pixels. Okay, and then the family here is going to be primary. Okay, so which would be Oswald. Let me also set the primary font family here to be Oswald. That will be for the H2. So basically H2s will be 36 size and pixel. The family of Oswald, they'll be uppercase, and then 700 in weight. And then finally, I've also set for the H4, same color would be the accent color, and then the size here is going to be 18 pixels. Okay, so let's choose Oswald again, and then the size here would be 18 pixels, the same size as our body text. And then one more. The very last one would be the H5, which I don't really think we're going to work with that much, but let's just set it up H5, and then typography here would be the same, secondary or primary if you want, and then the size here would be 16 pixels. Okay, and there you go. So I'm going to go ahead now and simply update this, and that's it. Now I know this was a very long video with me just talking about colors and stuff, but the point here is that on our site, if we ever add an H2, automatically it's going to inherit the values from here. So our H2s right now would have the font family of Oswald, size of 36 pixels, and then a weight of 700, and then the same goes with the H3s, H4s, and so on. We've basically set up the global values for our headers as well as our body text, but also we've set our global colors, which we can use over and over again. We've set 5 of them: primary, secondary, text, accent, special color. We're not going to use special color. I just wanted to show you how you can add your own additional custom colors if you wanted to. But that's basically us setting up our global font families, colors, and sizes. Join me in the very next video where we'll now begin to build out the header for our website.